Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Greatest Book Never Published, the podcast where we read the greatest book never published. When I was a young lad of 13 years old, I wrote a book called The Infection, and we're reading it in this podcast. That's what this podcast is all about. We're reading it and having a good old laugh, good old time. I am Nim, and
I'm Nate the Great.
And I'm Steve.
And if you haven't listened to the other episodes of the podcast, definitely go back and listen to those first, starting from episode 1, so that you're not lost, because otherwise you won't know what's going on. It'll just be confusing. So anyways, let's jump into it with chapter 49. Nathan Thompson. Okay. Wait, actually, do we remember what happened last episode? Just do a catch-up.
Yeah. So Nathan was about to go skydiving with Abigail to escape from the helicarrier.
Yeah. And Jameson was getting
whipped.
and said, "Oh, this is the end again for like the 35th time in this book."
Yeah.
And
Zach was fighting some robots.
That's basically been the entire update for those two characters for the past like 3 episodes. Like
just fighting.
they're fighting they're fighting some assassins who are trying to kill them.
And then Steven
capture them.
got his new costume, his new suit, and then was about to go try and save the other two or something.
Yeah, Steven got a new superhero suit.
and he
From
thought it was
Edna
awesome.
mode.
It was awesome. From
So anyways, chapter 49. Nathan Thompson. 3, I say as I stand next to the skydiving door ready to jump. 2, Abigail says as she stands next to me holding my hand.
Aww.
Holding hands as they jump out of a helicarrier. Aww. 1, we both say at the same time as we jump from about 20,000 feet. We have our parachutes strapped to our backs and radios so we can communicate while falling. The first few seconds, I am so scared that I can't even think. Think, Nathan, how do you skydive? You took an online class showing you how.
online class. I'm
was
sure
like,
there's
took
one
a
out there somewhere.
Took a class on Skillshare. Just showing you how. Sponsored by Skillshare, actually. No, I'm kidding. That's not true.
It's not.
Showing you. We don't have sponsors.
No.
Nobody listens to this.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah. The first thing you do is let out the pilot chute for stability. I think I looked up how to skydive for this chapter. I remember.
Oh, you didn't already know that?
You took a class.
I took a class. I went
You
on
took an online
Skillshare.
class.
Yeah. Let out the pilot chute for stability. So there's like a chute that comes out first to help stabilize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
I knew that.
I pull the pilot chute, which is a small parachute that helps to stabilize my fall, but doesn't do much at all to slow me down. What next? Oh yeah, bend your legs back a little bit and hold your hands out in front of you. You should be able to steer a little bit by moving them in the right way. I bend my legs back and hold my arms out in front of me. I move my arms slightly, causing me to turn to the side. Once I get the hang of it, it feels amazing. It feels like I'm floating. But I can tell that I'm not because of the wind blowing in my face at about 120 miles per hour.
Pretty accurate. 120. Probably not quite because he probably doesn't weigh very much, but
Well, I think I did. Yeah, I think I just did like general. I actually did look this up.
that's
though.
the
That's
average.
thing.
The average terminal velocity of a human.
I
is
think like I
120
looked up
miles
like
per hour.
what is it like to skydive and what does it feel like to, like I actually this was probably the most researched chapter out of this entire
You
book.
should have actually gone
Not
skydiving
gonna
to
lie.
research it.
Oh,
yeah, I don't
13
think
years old.
I don't think you're legally allowed to go skydiving when you're 13 years old.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
Parents just
but-
have to,
Parents have to sign off,
Yeah.
I guess.
sign a waiver.
Also, it's probably expensive, so I wouldn't do
Yeah,
that.
it is.
20 miles per hour. I look around and see Abigail falling a little ways away from me. She looks like she knows what she's doing, like she's done this many times before. I then notice that there are 2 more divers falling behind her.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Who are they? Did they realize that we had jumped out? Did they send men after us? There's only one way to find out. The other divers are falling faster than us.
Are they about to have a skydiving battle?
Oh, that's gonna be epic.
Ooh. They both fall past Abigail and start gaining on me. One of them slows down as the other keeps gaining. Once he falls to about the same height as me, he too slows down. He then throws something down below me. Because I'm falling faster than this object, it gets closer to me. It appears as though it is floating up.
Whoa. How did he throw it past him? That's not how that works.
I think the guy might have fallen past him. It's like maybe he just kind of like let it go. I don't know.
He's like,
Let it go.
I very quickly wait. He throws something down below me. Because I'm falling faster than this object, it gets closer to me. It appears as though it is floating up. I very quickly react by moving my arms in a way that causes me to move to the side. The object flies past me, then explodes.
oh,
The man then pulls out a gun and begins shooting
uh-oh.
just below me. Because of the speed we're falling, it is difficult for him to aim, and the bullets fly past me. What do I do? Of course, my slingshot.
How's that gonna work?
I forgot. I mean, it might if he has really, really good aim.
You just call him David.
But even if he has really good aim, like his slingshot hits the guy in the face, what's it going to be? A mild annoyance? Like, ow, that hurt.
Ouch.
Let me keep going. Let me keep shooting him with my gun. My slingshot. It should be here in my backpack. As the man is reloading his gun, I reach into my backpack and pull out my slingshot. I load it, pull it back, and fire. The small metal ball flies underneath the man. It comes up, smacking him in the face, causing him to become disoriented and
Wow.
lose his positioning.
What a shot.
That's impressive.
First try?
He's basically Deadshot. Like,
Dude. Like, he's never even skydove before, so he doesn't even, like... It's not like he's been able to practice, like, oh, I know what it's like to skydive and shoot. No, like, jeez.
But
And it's a
he
slingshot.
took an online course, so he knows everything about skydiving.
He took an online course, yeah. It's like, but it's like... And it's a slingshot. It's not even like he could just... It's not even like a gun would be easier to aim. But, okay. That's impressive.
Yeah.
It also causes him to drop his gun. Oh, good job, dude.
Did you catch it?
He then moves his arms in a position which causes him to curve towards me. He flies over to me and punches me in the face. I fly back, losing my positioning. I quickly get back in position as he comes back toward me for another hit. I move to the side, dodging his attack. Then he grabs the rope to my pilot chute and begins pulling me toward him. Okay, smart move. Once I'm right next to him, he grabs me. What are you gonna do now? He yells loudly. There's no way you'd be able to hear what he's saying. I feel like falling. He yells loudly so I can hear it over the sound of the wind blowing by my ears. He pulls out a knife. There's no way we'll let you escape. What do I do? I have a knife in my backpack somewhere. I'll use that. Just as he brings his knife up to my neck, I reach into my backpack, pull my knife out, and jab him in the stomach.
Oof.
The shock of what just happened causes him to drop his knife. I then use my knife to
This guy
cut...
does not hold on to his weapons very tight.
Yeah, I know. I then use my knife to cut the straps to his parachute off.
Ooh, got him there.
Yeah.
But his parachute's not out yet.
Also, how easy is it to cut the straps of a parachute with a knife? Like, I feel like you'd have to be like, like
Well,
cut for a while.
the thing is, yeah, it's just paracord. It's easy to cut, but there's not just like one string. There's like a bunch.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's true.
And also, this guy's parachute's not out yet.
No, he's cutting... I think he cut his, like, parachute off completely. Like, the bag.
Like the
That's
straps.
what I mean.
Oh.
That's what I think he cut.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be very easy.
Right. The shock of what just happened caused him to... Okay. Straps to his parachute off. I then push him away from me as he keeps falling to his death.
Nice.
Dude... is that the first time Nate's killed a dude? I think that's the first time Nate's
Yeah,
killed
that's
a
the
dude.
first time, yeah.
Nate's first... Not the
time.
first time Zach's killed a dude. Zach freaking crushed a pilot.
Oh yeah.
with a robot. Then, at about 5,000 feet, how does he know?
Maybe he has one of those watches that tells
maybe-
you your altitude.
Yeah, he might. I pull the chute. It takes a few seconds. I think I also looked up at what altitude are you supposed to pull your parachute. I think 5,000 is like a typical. I don't know. I pull the chute.
Maybe.
It takes a few seconds, but it opens. I am now going much slower. I grab onto the steering toggles. I look around and see that the other man has also opened his parachute. He is now at about the same height as I am. He pulls out his gun and shoots my parachute.
Uh-oh.
I begin falling faster, much faster. What do? This is the only parachute I have. I frantically grab the radio and begin talking into it. Mayday, mayday, my chute's been hit.
What? He has a radio?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
did they
talking
explain
to
it earlier?
Abigail. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I repeat, my chute's been hit. Calm down, I hear Abigail's voice say from the other end. Just try to fall as slow as possible. I'll try to catch you. I look up and see Abigail falling as fast as possible, without her chute being open. I spread my body out and leave the ripped parachute out, causing me to go just a little bit slower. I am now at about 3,500 feet, which is almost too late to open a chute. I look up and Abigail is still falling. As she falls, I see her pull out a gun and shoot the man who shot my parachute.
Oh.
Dude, once she gets a little
She's
closer,
just like falling. She just whips out.
she's a badass. She should be one of the main characters,
Oh,
honestly.
yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
Like, who would have known she was such a badass? As she falls, I see her pull out a gun and shoot the man who shot my parachute. Once she gets a little closer, I hear her voice come over the radio. Cut your chute now. I don't want it to get in the way. I grab my knife, which I then use to cut my parachute off. It flies away, flapping through the wind. Abigail is now about 10 feet away from me. She gets a little closer. We both reach out and try to grab each other's hands. She just barely grabs onto the tip of my fingers and pulls me towards her. We are now 25,000 feet in the air as Abigail pulls the ripcord and the chute opens. Well, that was fun, Abigail says as we fall slowly to the ground. We should do it again sometime. Sure, I say, just without men trying to kill us.
She's just my new favorite character in the book now.
Yeah.
Honestly though, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the end of that chapter.
That was exciting.
That actually was a
That
decent
was a
chapter.
good chapter.
That was I remember when I wrote that chapter, I thought that was one of my best written chapters.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many movies where you see a parachute fight scene.
Yeah.
It's like in Get Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, I actually legitimately like that chapter. Chapter 50. Zach Thompson. I've been fighting BAMs for the past half hour, and I'm getting really tired.
Well, it's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
I'm getting tired of you fighting these guys too.
Yeah.
There's almost no way I can go on. Just as one of them is about to strike me, they all stop. It appears that you are getting weary, the electronic voice says. Instead of having the BAMs fight you, I will fight myself.
Wow.
Why?
He just doesn't want to waste more
What a-
money on his bands.
No,
They're
what a-
expensive.
Oh, probably.
What a cheap move. You have your robots fight him till he's real tired and you're like, yeah, I'll step in now and finish it off.
There's
you
a
know?
reason he's an expert assassin. He
Yeah, I
doesn't
don't
mess
know.
around. He takes people out. He doesn't.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
That's probably why he's like, I guess I'll fight you now instead of letting them take you out, because that would be no.
It's like, and you already just blew up, $100 million in BAMs.
Yeah, exactly.
Starting to cost
He's
me
like,
some money here.
He's like, all right, the amount of money I'm getting paid for this is not going to pay for all these.
Not gonna
bands,
cover it.
So maybe I should start taking you out myself. Suddenly, a man steps out from the shadows. He is a cyborg with an electronic mask which covers his mouth, while the rest of his face is covered by a black hood he's wearing. He is also wearing completely black clothing with a black cape, which is covered by the sword he is carrying on his back. I am the King Killer, he says. Are you sure you are just announcing your name as you're about to kill somebody? Like, come on. I guess he wants to be like, yeah, I'm the one, the King Killer. is the guy who's about to
He's
kill
been
you.
killed by the King Killer.
Oh, except didn't he get orders not to kill him? Remember?
Yeah, apparently.
There's no way you can defeat me. It is impossible. I beg to differ, I say. No matter how strong, everyone has a weakness. All you need to do is find it. It is not that easy. I have studied fighting tactics all my life. In doing so, I have studied all possible weaknesses. I then found a way to block all those weaknesses. There is no way to defeat me. I am invincible. He then pulls out a sword, which was on his back. Just to be fair, I will not use an energy sword. I run at him, my arms and fists solid, as he slashes with his sword. I block it with my arm. He sends another blow. I block it. Blow after blow, we fight. So he's like, they're like having a sword fight, and he's using his arm for a sword fight.
You know, there's this thing called plasma that would melt the sword.
I don't know.
Melt the sword.
Not a sword, or just let's back. Just to be fair, I will not use my no one
fight.
seems to be. No one seems to have the upper hand. No one seems to be losing. It just keeps going on and on. Why do you keep on fighting? Killer says. Your fall is inevitable. Like I said before, I say, I will not quit. I'll fight until the end. I'm not going down without a fight. Your determination is remarkable. No wonder Lee wants you alive. Really? He wants me alive? Well, then he's not going to get me. I will not back down while I'm still living. I wouldn't be too sure of that. I still have one more trick up my sleeve. Next thing I know, King Killer drops a small smoke bomb. Smoke comes out of it, causing me to fall to the ground. You have failed, Killer says. I try to stand back up again, but I can't. I lay on the ground for a few seconds, then black out.
Why didn't he just do that like an hour ago?
Why? Yeah. He just enjoys torturing him for a while.
He lost so many robots too.
Oh my gosh.
Also, like, are the cops non-existent in this universe? This building collapsed like 30 minutes ago.
I don't know. Maybe it's like out in the middle of nowhere. I think it is actually. It's like not in the city. I think it's like on the outskirts, like out in the middle of nowhere somewhere.
Weren't they in the CIA lab thingy?
Yeah. The abandoned CIA lab. Nobody cares about it. It's abandoned. Chapter 51. Jameson Thompson. I am now so tired and beaten that I can't even feel my body. Then he stops whipping me. I don't know why I find that funny. Why did you... Why did you stop? I say, surprised at what happened. I was almost dead, and you stopped. I only stopped because I must. I was ordered to kill you. Just recently, the order changed. You are wanted alive. Alive? Why just me? Why not the others? You are more powerful than them. You have the strength. You are better than them. No, I say as I try to stand back up. I'm not better. They were my brothers. How am I better? Okay. Because you are the...
What? What?
I don't know. Just when I think my writing starts to improve, I'm like...
Yeah, you write a line like that and it makes no sense.
Because you are the only one who had the power to stay alive, Whiplash says. He lashes me again, causing me to fall to the ground again. You have risen above the rest. The best of the Hooded Three. You're lying. They're still alive, all of them. I see it in your eyes. You just want me to think that I'm all alone. Wasn't that the other guy's tactic, not Whiplash? Whiplash just kind of like whipped him. All right, you got me. I've been lying this whole time. But that does not change anything. You will still lose. Whiplash swings his right whip at me harder than all the other hits. Just a second before he hits me, I roll over, dodging it. As my wounds heal, I jump up to my feet, ready to fight. Whiplash walks towards me, swinging his whips. I slowly back up as I dodge his attacks. How are you doing this? Whiplash says. Your file says you have had no training in fighting skills. I duck, then come up, punching him and knocking his whip out of his hands. I've learned a few things over the past week. I don't know if you can really learn that much about fighting in a week, but alright, I say. I grab him and lift him up in the air while making sure he doesn't have any electronic devices in his hands. Now, I want to know something, I say. Where is Crepe? I don't know, Whiplash says. I only work for him. I don't know where he is. But there's something else I do know. What? Adios, amigo. Oh, Whiplash says.
Smoke bomb.
At first, I'm confused, but then I realize that he has dropped a smoke bomb, of course. Both of them got taken out by smoke bombs. As the smoke rises, I drop Whiplash, fall to the ground, and black out. Alright, one more chapter for the day.
Man.
This chapter isn't very long either, so
It'll be a short
it's
episode.
like a short episode, yeah. Chapter 52. Stephen Richards. We just got word that Zach and Jameson have been kidnapped, Fox says, as we are sitting in his office. We have tracked them and found out that they have been taken to the MetLife football stadium.
Ooh.
They have a secret base at the MetLife stadium?
Isn't that the Giant Stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they live in New York City, so.
Well, yeah.
And the Jet Stadium.
Giants
But
and
we
the
don't care
Jets.
about that.
We don't care about the Jets.
Apparently, they have a secret base underneath. We now have Mr. Black working there. And trust me when I say we've pulled a lot of strings to get him there. We have you signed up for a job also. You will be on the cleanup crew. Since it is now the middle of football season, they should have a lot of work for you. See, I'm good at keeping things like the consistency of the world good, you know, because it's close to the start of the school year, which is around when football season is. So, look at that. I think things through.
Yeah.
Sure.
Since it's now the middle of the football season, they should have a lot of work for you. You will stay undercover as Steve Landers. He hands me a small book that simply has the name Steve Landers on the cover. This will tell you everything you need to know about Mr. Landers. Your job will be to look around the whole building and try to see if you can find the secret basement. You must stay undercover the whole time. You mustn't let anyone know. Except for Mr. Black. You remember what he looks like, don't you? I nod my head. Alright, good. Any questions? Why do you want me to have this job? I ask. I've never had any spy experience before. We thought we could use your power. We need a spy who can get out of a tight spot faster than anyone else. I guess that makes sense. Anyway, anything else I need to know? Not really. And remember, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I do. Zach is the best friend I've ever had. And friends help each other, no matter what. Wow. It's completing his character arc. I'm glad you feel that way. Now, I want you to talk to Mrs. Smith. She will give you some equipment which might come in handy in this mission.
He's going to give him some fancy spy equipment like Alex Rider.
Like Alex
Like
Rider.
Mr. Smithers.
And make sure to spend the night studying up on Steve
Her name is
Landers.
Smith.
Oh, wow.
Mrs. Smith.
If someone asks you a question about yourself, I want you to be able to answer it. Wait a minute. This is an after-school job, right? Yes, of course. You'll be starting during Monday Night Football tomorrow. I nod my head, then walk out the door. End of that. So,
Wow.
Steve's got
Wow.
a job. Steve's a spy now.
Wow.
The thing is, like, it makes it seem like it's gonna be this big thing, like, you gotta be this Steve Landers, you're gonna get all this spy equipment, but it's probably not gonna last very long in the book. Because, like, the book's already, like, this close to being over.
You're definitely like in the middle of reading an Alex Rider book when you wrote this.
Yeah.
I was. No, I guarantee you I was.
Her name is Mrs. Smith too, and like
Those are
the
those
tech
are my
guy, tech
favorite
lady.
books back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for today. It's always sad when we end. I'm like,
It is.
I want to know what happens next. I'm excited. We're getting very close to the end. Very close. I don't know exactly. I think we're on episode 14, so there should be another, if I can do math, like 7 episodes left probably till we finish the book.
Yep.
Seven.
Only 7.
I know. Anyways, so that's about all for now. So thank you all for listening. I was about to say goodbye, but actually before I do that, there's a few different places you can listen to this podcast if you want to. You can listen to it on Spotify. There's a link in the description to the Spotify. There's also a link in the description to the YouTube, which is my YouTube channel, NIM TV. The podcast is located there as well. And you can also check out Nathan's YouTube channel, which is linked in the description as well. Nate the Great. Also, yes, every new episode of this podcast is on Thursdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. So be ready next week for the excitement of what happens next. Finally finished the fight scene that's been going on for like 4 chapters straight.
Yeah.
Well, 4 episodes straight. I guess technically 8 chapters, but between 2 characters. But anyways, that's about all. So thank you so much for listening. I've been Nim.
Nate the Great.
And I'm Steve.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.